couple of months ago, I foraged some very cool mosses and ferns in an open public space near my house, and I wasn't quite sure how I would use them. I thought maybe grow a terrarium, but I found the perfect solution with the Vertplanter. It is a planter that basically works as a reservoir pot, and your plants grow on the outside like this. So let's try it out. Here in California, we had a huge amount of rain this winter, more than usual, and we had tons of moss show up where we never had moss before. I should point out that I did some research. These are not rare mosses or ferns. They grow all over the place. We just don't have a huge window of them here in Southern California. They usually dry up by mid-spring. It is important to double check that if you are foraging plants, make sure you are not grabbing anything that is rare or endangered. Feel free to pull out any invasive species, that is always good, but rare or endangered plants should absolutely be kept where they are and not pulled out and brought home. So I was out walking in the kind of public open space near my house and found a bunch of this moss, and I grabbed some along with some little tiny baby ferns because I knew I would do something with them, but I wasn't quite sure. So I was really excited when Vertplanter approached me about trying out their planter, and I thought it was the perfect way to use my free plants that have been sitting in my greenhouse looking for somewhere to go. So what's cool about this, terracotta is what it's made out of. It's just permeable. So when you fill this with water, this always remains moist. So for plants that like that kind of thing, like mosses, orchids, ferns, this is the perfect planter and a really kind of cool statement piece. Fuss-free planter in your home. It comes with this so that obviously you can keep your surfaces dry because this does stay moist. And I'm just gonna see how easy it is to get it set up and plant it up and have a cool new planter for my house. One of the plants that I did manage to collect were these little tiny ferns, and I thought that would be really cute. A bigger fern would also work really well. Here is some of the examples that they have on ways that you could use it. Different kind of ferns, little ficus, orchids, and you can also put spores, fern spores, or things like chia seeds on it and they will grow. Since I am using stuff that is already growing, I am going to use some very thin gardener's wire. I think you can use fishing line as well, but let's see how this goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill it up. This is some rainwater I collected. Probably no harm in getting the whole thing wet. I bet that's helpful. Luckily it's got that little cache tray. Yeah, let's just get the whole thing wet. Why not? Maintenance is pretty easy because you can see the water level. So just make sure it never dries out, which should be relatively easy, and you're good to go. I've got some really thin garden wire that I'm going to use to attach it. If you're using stuff like orchids, apparently that's the way you attach it. All right, so let's give it a go. I'm going to try pull out some of my moss here, which has some soil on it already, but I'm going to try and remove some of the soil. love the way it looks. Now, this is a pretty simple one. I haven't done too much to it because I know the moss will grow and eventually hopefully cover more of this and cover up the garden wire. I might add some more ferns, maybe some bigger ones, but I think this is good to start while I'm still learning how to use this planter. I am going to mist it as well while it gets established. In theory, eventually I won't have to keep misting it, but for now we're gonna keep it nice and moist. I did use moss to cover up the roots of this fern so that they stay protected and moist. But for now, that looks really cool and a great way to display some of my free plants that I found from simply going on a walk. I do have the Vertplanter linked in the description, and I also have a coupon code, Free Plants Forever, that'll give you $5 off your order. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. And of course, don't forget to check out my Instagram and TikTok. And of course, subscribe.